guys, it's Jessie. I decided instead of making rant videos, I want to go to a different genre. I want to talk about CF and diabetes. I want to talk about these because I feel like it'd be awesome to have a person to talk to face to face. The problem with that is cystic fibrosis carriers cannot be in the same room as one another. Because we can pass over more complications and viruses and bacteria to one another that don't go away. So we can expose the other one to something. So I wanted to make videos and talk about my experience with it, and if you would like to commiserate with me, whether you have these illnesses or not, that's great. To learn and glean some information from these videos, that is awesome. Some background information on me. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at 9 months of age. For those of you who don't know what CF is, it's a genetic disorder that is passed down. The parents each have to have the CF gene, and when they get together, you know, and woohoo and make their babies, the genes that are inactive in the parents, because there's only like one gene, come together and become active and give the child CF. And CF is a deficiency within the body that targets several systems, mainly our lungs and our digestive system. The lungs are a big thing with CF. We get a lot of really thick mucus in our lungs that makes it hard for us to breathe, and also can trap a lot of bacteria in our lungs, which can result in lung infections and lung complications. And lung transplants are not uncommon in CF patients. The other main system it targets is the digestive system. Our pancreas can no longer create the enzymes that are needed to break down and digest the food we eat with fatty content. So we end up with a lot of stomach problems because we can't digest our food properly. And some say a pancreas transplant will fix this, but in order for like a pancreas transplant, from what I've been told and what I understood, is you also have to have a lung transplant, and then you can do a double. But they don't generally do a pancreas transplant unless you need your lungs transplanted out as well. But we have to take a variety of different medications and visit the doctor like every 3 months or so, or more often if we have more severe cystic fibrosis. I've been lucky in that sense, as with my lungs, my CF hasn't been too bad. I'm supposed to take breathing medication. I used to a lot when I was a little kid, but now that I'm older, I'm skipping out on them, which I shouldn't be. I'd probably feel like 50% better if I did do them. I mean, I feel good, but I mean, I'd feel like amazing if I did them. When I was little, my parents would have to pound on my chest and on my back to loosen up the mucus in my lungs so I could cough it up. So it allowed me to breathe better and stuff wouldn't get trapped in my lungs. I also had to do you've probably heard of the inhaler albuterol. A lot of asthma patients use it, as well as CF people, because what it does is it opens up the airway more. I also have to take Advair, which is like in a little purple disc. I do a breathing treatment called Pulmozyme, which goes in and it breaks down the DNA strands in the mucus, which makes the mucus thinner so I can cough it up, which in turn makes less mucus in my lungs. My recent doctor's appointment, early December, I got prescribed hypertonic saline solution, basically just really concentrated salt water that you breathe in through an aerosol machine. And what that does is the high salt content draws water into your lungs, which also thins out the mucus, making it less sticky, so it doesn't like cling to parts of your lungs, and it can move around and you can cough it up and get rid of it. So my lungs haven't been bad. I've had 3 sinus surgeries, one when I was 3 years old, one when I was 9, and one when I was 15. Basically what they do is they go into your nose and they clean out a lot of the mucus that's built up in there, in your sinus cavities, that you can't get out on your own. And I've had to have that done 3 times. The last time they went in, they said that they pretty much, the past 2 surgeries, they've done all they could. So there wasn't much for them to get out. They ended up having to scrape some bone out and cartilage, like, out from in my sinus cavities, because that was about all they could do anymore. But I've had so many, they said it, like, reshaped my sinus cavities, so there's really not much more they can do except give me antibiotics. I've been having some sinus problems lately. Like yesterday, I had a really bad headache, and today too. So I basically just take some pain medication, some decongestants, some no spray, and just wait it out. So I've been lucky in the lung respect. Digestively, however, I have had so many problems. This is actually really personal, kind of embarrassing and hard for me to talk about, just because I like to maintain an image of not being sick, not having these problems to go through. I feel weak if I show that I'm sick and how I feel. And some of it's gross, and I don't like to talk about it, but I'm going to put myself out there because I know I'm not the only one going through it, and it's not something I asked for, and it's just something I have to go through, and it's part of my body, so, you know, I'm going to try my best not to be ashamed of it. I used to have to go to the ER a lot of the time for stomach aches and stomach cramps, because my system was backed up. And one time I had to have an enema, and that was interesting. Thank God I don't remember every little detail. The thing I remember the most was they gave me this really nasty medicine to drink that would make me kind of drowsy, so I wouldn't, like, freak out when they put the tube, where they put the tube. That was the worst of it, I remember. That stuff tasted terrible. Then I was watching some videos a little while ago of me doing some school projects, and I did a school project on CF, and just in the middle of it, I blurted, "They had to put a tube up my butt!" And I'm sitting here now, 19, watching this video of me when I'm like 10 to 12, something like that. And I'm just going, did I really just say that? What? So it was okay for a while, but then it got, then I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 12. And I was always about 92 pounds. Yeah, I was about 92 pounds all the time up until 7th grade when I was diagnosed. And they were always trying to put more weight on me, give me supplement drinks, make me eat more, all this stuff, and I couldn't put on weight for anything. As soon as I got diagnosed with diabetes, I started taking insulin, I put on the pounds. By freshman year, I was about 120 pounds. The doctors were proud of me. The doctors were happy with it. I was not. I did not like being 120 pounds. I wanted to go back to being 98 pounds, 92 pounds in the 90s. Didn't want to be 120, fluctuating to 125. And sophomore year, they took an x-ray of my stomach and saw I was so backed up, basically constipated, that my intestines were about to burst, and I could go into sepsis anytime. So they admitted me to the hospital, and they gave me the option of doing like 30 to 50 enemas, or having a NG tube, which is a tube that is stuck through your nose, down the back of your throat, into your stomach, and it drips this medicine that's basically like a laxative, like a really concentrated laxative, into my stomach for a certain amount of days. I chose the NG tube down my nose because I did not want 30 to 50 enemas. That was embarrassing, frightening, gross. They put the NG tube in, and I had to drink a glass of water while they were slipping it down, and there's this there's like a bump right here where it goes up and then dips back down into your throat, and that hurt so bad when it went down there, but then I was okay. It was in, They had to tape it to the side of my face, which was irritating as hell, tuck it behind my ear, and then I had to keep it in 24/7. So once they had the NG tube in, I wasn't allowed to eat solid food. I could eat yellow Jello, drink chicken broth with no noodles, and drink apple juice, so clear liquids. And I was there for 10 days with nothing to eat, and I got really sick of the chicken broth, so for like the last 5 days I ingested nothing but apple juice and occasionally some lemon Jello. The stuff worked, for the most part. I was going to the bathroom every 5-10 minutes. It was the 9th or the 10th day, I got so fed up, and I said, I'm done. I quit. I know I got a lot out of my system, but I cannot stay here another day. I cannot be in the hospital with an IV in my arm, a tube down my nose that is so cold, and my face is itching. And I finally gave up. I said, I miss home. I miss my sister and my dad, my pets. I miss my bed. I miss not being interrupted 5 times a night for vitals. I ended up going home early, despite their advice. They said I could finish it out at home. I lost 10 to 15 pounds. I'm now about 105, 110 pounds, give or take, like fluctuating. And I'm really proud of it. After that, my stomach was not as distended and round as it used to be. It got a lot flatter. And I had a really good body image about myself. My stomach didn't hurt as much.